Hey, my YouTube friends. This is my second try. Um, we're in the middle of a heat advisory again. Of course, it's the middle of summertime, and that's what's going to happen. At least we're not having storms every day like we were having. For the next few weeks, I'm going to be concentrating on my crochet. Um, this is like my third try with this blanket that I was doing because um, I had misjudged when I was doing it the first time, and it had this big old area that was not the same size as the rest of them. I undone it and started over again, and got halfway through with the blanket, set it aside for a day or two, and when I got back to it, it was all messed up. I don't know how it was messed up so bad, but it was really. Um, so I took it apart, tried to salvage as much of the yarn as I could, and decided, well, I'm going to start over again. So I'm starting over, and I started with this yarn that has all blues and purples variegated through it. And when it's finished, it makes a kind of a heather color. And I am doing something I don't normally do. I'm straight stitching, and I'm using my stitch counter things. Some that are really shaped kind of like spirals, and some that are like little um, safety clips and safety pins, and some that are like other things. But they got a whole bunch of different ones in this uh, travel thing that I got for my crochet. So I'm trying to keep my seam, my sides straight by having the stitch markers at the end of each of the rows. And in that way, when it's done, I won't have to do a major amount of blocking. And hopefully it'll all be the same um, tension, because I've been noticing that I'm not as able to keep the tension the same as I used to be. Well, on YouTube, I got all kinds of people that I follow and consider my friends, uh, either in the scrapbooking, junk journaling community or the reborn community, or some people are just farmers and ranchers. Um, there's one here in Oklahoma that is the guy that he raises the bison, the bison herd, buffalo herd for that he's when they had brought in all the buffalo from up north to help prevent the buffalo dying out, going extinct. He's got this big herd of these buffalo, and they're actually reasonably tame for buffalo, the ones that he works with. I got I've got the Morrow family, um, who are mostly situated in a town called Plum Grove, Texas, and they have several ranches and farms on what they call Morrow Hill, which is all the uh, Papa and Gigi, who are the grandpa and grandma. Then they have Lester and Jamie, who have like three properties, and I think they turned one of the properties over to his eldest son, L.E. Uh, they have several children, and Papa and Gigi also have several children. There's Lester, there's Kim and Bree and Megan. Anyway, all of them, I follow all of them and what they're doing with their lives and what they're doing with the animals. Lester and Jamie have a rescue ranch property called I'm a Survivor. And they take in all these animals and have been doing so since Hurricane Harvey devastated Texas. Um, they take in all these animals, like they've got all these various longhorns and regular cows. They've got ostriches. They've got goats and pigs and chickens, and um, then they've got the horse herd. And they've got this great, big, huge Belgian draft horse named Roman. And they've got a Clydesdale and another draft horse. There's Val and Taliesin. Then they've got Bucky and Rita and Storm and Prim, which are all normal sized horses. They're not as big as the draft horses. Roman is huge. Lester stands like 6 foot tall, and Roman, when he's standing next to Lester, can put his head right over the top of this. He's huge, about 18 hands tall. So I like watching them and listening to what's going on in their life and how things are going with all their different animals. And we've got donkeys, one of which, Ivy, kind of thinks she's a pony. She wants to be with the horses. She doesn't want to be with the donkeys. She wants to be with the horses. We have the miniature donkeys, and most of the miniature donkeys are now in LE, and Ellie and Megan. Lester's oldest son has them now. It was Dinky Darrell, and I think they still have Dinky Darrell, but the ABC, they named them ABCD. Each of them had, one of them has a name like Andy or something, and then there's Brandon and C-word. I don't know what C-word finally ended up being, but they called it C-word. So I really enjoy what everybody's life is like. And y'all are my online family, you're my friends. And so when I share with you the little things in my life, I'm doing so because ever since COVID, the ability to be out around people and interact in any kind of a social fashion, and I'm not real good at socializing anyway. The way I grew up, I never learned how to be a part of polite society. I was pretty much isolated and abused, and I just really wasn't allowed to have friends growing up. And so when I had friends when I got to be an adult, the very few friends that I had, almost all of them, if they didn't move away to another town or something, ended up stabbing me in the back one way or another. Roxy, settle down, honey. Anyway, have you noticed that all anybody talks about here lately is Epstein? Well, I think that for the sake of all those young women, that's not something we need to forget about and just move on. I think those young women need justice. And so, um, if our country is going to be destroyed by Trump's name being all over the client list, and we knew that he was not only good friends with Epstein for over 15 years, he was going to his parties. He even took his daughter Ivanka and his son Don Jr. to these parties. There are photos that Trump would like to forget about, but are there. And you can, you know, there were people that, news people that did articles about it and everything back when it first happened. And that's aside from the fact that Trump has got this he's got this really creepy obsession with Ivanka. And even if it wasn't an incestuous relationship, it came pretty close. I kind of think it's a good thing that she uh, pulled back from her father and is maybe pretty much no contact with him right now. This He throws everybody under the bus that cares about him. That's what narcissists do. I should know. I grew up in a household where my parents were narcissists, and I have a brother that got molded into their image. And I was the family disgrace. I wasn't just the black sheep. I was the family disgrace. Part of that was my own doing, and part of it was theirs. But there's that. Anyway, so all I want to say about the Epstein files is I do believe that they should keep pressing for the release of those files and the client list. And I think maybe this is what the GOP is using to get him out of office and have J.D. Vance be president in his place. So, anyway, we just got done doing the yard, and we're gonna kick back and relax the rest of the day. You guys have a nice day today. Love y'all.